Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and in this video we're going to be talking about the most worn shoe brands of last season, right? So the 2022 to 2023 season. And of course we have a whole bunch of shoe companies, especially for basketball shoes, but we have only a couple that most basketball players, in the NBA wear. And obviously, probably you guys already know what the number one is. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just really surprising at how little some of the other shoe companies have as far as the shoe market goes in the NBA. And also probably this reflects the shoe market for most people. You know what I mean? Just like the general public too. But shout out to Hoop Sneakers for this list, and also shout out to Kickstacks for this data, right? So anyways, let's get it started off with 8 through 15, right? So pretty much 8 through 15, there's 15 shoe companies, right? And they had to combine 8 through 15 just to get like any type of percentage, just because they have like one or two players playing in the shoe, you know what I mean? So anyways, we have companies like Converse, and Converse, if you guys didn't know, it's owned by Nike. So we got Converse, we got Li Ning, which Li Ning also owns Way of Wade. Way of Wade is Dwayne Wade's brand, and like people like D'Angelo Russell and some other players wear those shoes, right? And then we have 361 Degrees. We got Peak, we got Rigorer, which is Austin Reeves, and I feel like he's like the only player that plays in Rigorer probably in the NBA. We got Reebok and also X-Step. I don't even know who plays in X-Step, dude. Jeremy Lin isn't even in the NBA, right? I don't know, but anyways, all of those companies put together, how many companies is that? That's 8, right? We got 6.2% of the NBA. Right? So 6.2% of the NBA is pretty much all those companies put together. You know what I mean? Which is sad. Just because, as you guys know, all the other companies have such a big stake in, the shoe market in the NBA. So not saying like if a company is on this kind of list, it doesn't mean it's bad as far as like the products go. Like Li Ning makes amazing shoes. Way of Wade, same thing. 361 makes some pretty good shoes as well. Converse makes some pretty damn good shoes. So yeah, what do you guys think? They need a lot of money to sign people. You know what I mean? So, and if you don't really want to sign people that are unknown, right? That's just wasting money too. So it's just hard, you know what I mean? Because like everyone wants to sign with like the big three, But anyways, there's that. Moving on to number 7, we got Anta, which is pretty dope. They got 2.1% of the 2.1%, guys. Anta is a Chinese company, but Kyrie is supposed to sign with Anta. So if Kyrie signs with Anta, I feel like way more people are going to start wearing Anta. And Anta makes some really good shoes. They make some amazing performers for a great price. Really good quality shoes too. And honestly, I've liked a lot of their shoes, as far as the design goes and also for performance. So Anta, I guess that makes sense. There are Klay Thompson, and I feel like a lot of Warriors players play in Anta as well. So there is number 7. Moving on to number 6, we got Under Armour at only 2.1%. Same as Anta, which is kind of crazy, just because Under Armour has Curry. So as far as their marketing goes, I definitely feel like their marketing can be better. But also like Under Armour, they only have like 2 shoes. They have the Currys, right? The Fluid Future X, which is basically the Currys. And then they have, what else do they have? They got the Spawns. And that's it. And they got some like a couple of like really crappy budget shoes in there as well. And honestly, the design, not so good. The tech, not so good. Like Flow, they can definitely... Under Armour, if you guys are watching this video, please do some R&D and get some better tech, especially for cushion. It's because we're kind of sick of Flow, you know what I mean? But anyways, Under Armour, they have a whole bunch of money. They're a pretty big company, so I don't know why their share in the basketball shoe market in the NBA is so damn low. But yeah, the 2.1% is pretty damn bad. You know what I mean? But honestly, I also think they should, either other than signing more players, just because they have money. You know what I mean? So they should just definitely sign players and just throw money at signing people. I think they should make some better looking shoes and some more shoe lines. But honestly, I don't really think they care about basketball shoe lines that much, just from like the last couple of years, seeing what they've been doing. But anyways, there's number 6. Moving on to number 5, which is pretty interesting, we got New Balance with 2.6%, which is weird. I would think Under Armour is a bigger company, as far as like revenue goes. I feel like they probably have more money. I could be wrong on this though. But yeah, they have a little bit more, just 0.5% more, which is like I said, that kind of shocked me. I thought New Balance would be a little bit under Under Armour. But anyways, New Balance, they also they said like they have like Jamal Murray, and they have some good shoe lines. You know what I mean? They have the two ways, you know, the Kawhis, which they had that, you know, callback for the shoe, and also for the Fresh Foam BBs right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but they make some amazing shoes, you know, and they also, it looks pretty damn sick. It looks way better than Under Armour, so that definitely does make sense. And on New Balance also, I feel like a couple years ago they did try to sign a good amount of players, so I guess that does make sense. Moving on to number 4, we got Puma with 3.8%, which is freaking insane, guys. No other company, like no company on this list, spoiler alert, is above 10% besides 2 other shoe companies. So that's crazy, you know what I mean? But yeah, Puma, they're signing a good amount of people, right? And I feel like I see a good amount of people playing in Pumas as well. So that definitely does make sense. As far as performance goes, they make some pretty nice shoes. It's just, I feel like they should do some R&D and you know, make some better tech for their shoes, you know what I mean? But they, as far as like design goes, they look great. And I definitely feel like they're doing a good job in signing a good amount of players as well. They just signed Scoot, and there was a leak for a, you know, his signature shoe, kind of, which is kind of crazy. He's already getting a signature shoe and he's not in the NBA. So yeah, we got Puma. Of course, we got LaMelo Ball signature shoe line as well. All right, moving on to number 3, which is, it makes sense. We got Jordan Brand with 7.6%, which is owned by Nike. So 7.6%, and that doesn't even hit 10%. It's not double digits yet. So yeah, 7.6%, but that's significantly higher than all the rest of the shoe brands, which is freaking insane. You know, they got players like, you know, Zion Williamson, they got Jason Tatum, right? They actually have their own signature shoe. They got Luka, you know, so they have a good amount of like big players, big names signed to them as well. And you know, it just makes sense. There's a whole bunch of players playing in like Michael Jordan's, like, you know, the Jordan 37, also the Jordan 38. I feel like when it debuted, there were a couple of players playing in it, if I remember correctly. So yeah, Jordan Brand, that makes sense. And then moving on to number 2, we got Adidas with 12%. So that's the only other company above 2 digits, which is freaking crazy. Only 12%, guys. So yeah, Adidas, they have a whole bunch of people signed as well. You know, they got Damian Lillard, they got Dame, they got Harden, they have Donovan Mitchell. As far as their shoes go, I haven't really been liking their shoes all too much. The only shoes I like from them right now are like the Dame Certifieds, the Hardens, and the BYWs, and that's about it. Honestly, their designs are okay. You know, I feel like their designs, as far as like how it looks, it's just you know what I mean? Performance also is just I don't think they perform exceptionally well. My favorite shoe to play in from them is a Harden Volume 7, and it's pretty damn heavy, you know what I mean? So yeah, Adidas, and you guys probably could have guessed that number 1 is, do I even need to do a drum roll? It's 63.6%, guys, of the freaking players in the NBA playing in this company. It's Nike. You guys already know, Nike. So they have everybody. They sign a whole bunch of people, but also I feel like people just want to wear Nikes. You know what I mean? And they just have such a grip on the shoe market in the NBA. I mean, they make some amazing shoes. They have some amazing designs. As far as the price goes, it ranges, you know what I mean? But yeah, that makes sense. But also Nike, now it's not 63.6%. You got to add 7.6% from Jordan Brand, also from Converse. So it's a little bit, it's around 70% of the players in the NBA playing in basically Nike shoes or Nike owned shoes, which is freaking insane. So they basically have a monopoly, you know, but honestly though, yeah, I only see Nikes. When I'm playing in the gym, like 24 Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, I feel like most people have Nikes. Now, Under Armour, not really. You know, I rarely see Curry's too. You guys remember the Curry 2 when Curry was having that crazy ass season? Those were actually selling out, which is pretty funny. But anyway, and then like Adidas, I don't really see all too much as well. And like Puma, I actually see a couple of Pumas. And also I see some Way of Waves as well, which is kind of interesting too. I've seen some Wild 10s, I've seen some 808s. But yeah, mostly Nikes, and that makes sense. So yeah, was this list even a surprise? I don't think anyone was surprised at the list. You know, I guess like as far as like how big Nike is in the basketball shoe market, especially in the NBA. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think the other companies can do to kind of like, you know, get bigger shares in the NBA shoe market? You know, do they sign more players? You know, that's also pretty hard, you know, because sometimes it's like, oh, this player is gonna be the next Michael Jordan or next LeBron James, but you know, it's just kind of a bust, and you know, you waste a whole bunch of money. That company wasted a whole bunch of money, you know. So it's a pretty hard thing, you know, signing players, but also like, I don't know, they just have such a grip on the culture as well. So what do you guys think these companies can do to increase their market share? But anyways, that about concludes this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.